Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter, Riley, and Steven. Say what up, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
We're back doing another episode of Commander Grades. This is part 3 of the multicolored legendaries from Final Fantasy. And it happens to be the final video of Commander Grades for this set.
This has been my Final Fantasy.
160 plus legends, all talked about. If you guys wanted to check out all of the grades, check the links in the description below. There are over 10 videos of Commander grades for this set. But, like I said, this is part 3. We got some 15 more cards to talk about. Before we get into it, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you are here from the beginning, if you watched every single video, comment down below. Interested to hear you guys just how many made it through all of these videos. But let's go ahead and get started with this first card. This first one is actually a flip card. This is Serah Farron. It's 1 green and a white for a 2/2 legendary creature human citizen. It says the first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more other legendary creatures, you may transform Serah Farron. Once transformed, it turns into Crystalized Serah. It's just a legendary artifact that says the first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast, and legendary creatures you control get +2/+2.
Kind of like this.
It's okay, right? The only thing it has for it is making things cheaper. It's kind of negligent of just giving it +2/+2.
Is it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, +2/+2
cheaper buffs the team. Like, that's pretty good. Plus, this turns into an artifact, so a little bit harder to remove, rather than it flipping into a creature that like the other ones usually do.
So my question is an Anthem effect just good in the command zone?
I think an Anthem effect with cost reduction is good in the command zone.
That's why I say I like the cost reduction. I don't really care for the Anthem.
I mean, this is 3 mana and essentially flips pretty easy.
I think
you only need one other legendary.
I understand that, and as a 2-color legend, like legends matter, that's a cool way to build this. But honestly, there's Joda and other legendary matters commanders. I feel like this would slot into a lot better.
Oh man, if I play 5-color Joda, I'm never gonna find my all my colors. It's not happening.
I'm just saying.
Just to give you a heads up, she does actually say other, so she doesn't check herself on the 2 legendary creatures in order to flip.
A little harder.
Yeah, so you have to have at least 3 creatures in play. It's really not that difficult. Do I think that this is going to be a good commander? No.
Great support piece, though.
I mean, cost reduction is cool, but the singular cost reduction per turn, I don't know. Also, I don't know why. I'm assuming that's Snow's hand, but like, why is the hand of the artwork for both?
Because one's crystallized.
Well, yeah, like when he's like having a happy moment and reaching out towards her, and the next one he's like, "Oh God, you're a crystal zombie."
What happened to you?
However, I don't know. I just feel like the hand wasn't necessary.
It is really cool though, because like it's almost the progression of the game. Like it looks like you got a shitty level 1 glove reaching out, and then like he's been through some stuff, and now you have like the cool glove that looks like it's level whatever they have in Final Fantasy.
Didn't like this game, and really don't remember much of it. But I'm pretty sure both of these moments happened like right at the beginning.
I'll tell you what I do know. That's not Genji's glove.
Let's move on to the grades. I'll start. This is going to be an average commander for me. This is C.
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump on that, man. I think this is average. It's a C. I think it's cool. I like it.
I actually don't think I really find a reason to play this. I'm going to put this down at D.
That's fair. Well, Serah Farron gets the average grade of a C. Next up is Shantotto, Tactician Magician. It's 1, a blue, and a red for a 0/4 legendary creature dwarf wizard. It says whenever you cast a non-creature's spell, Shantotto gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. If X is 4 or more, draw a card. It's interesting. Seems like it gets big.
It's gonna be a no for me, big dog.
Really? I think this is pretty. Yeah. This is very spell slinger. I mean, it's not limited to only doing it once per turn, so just keep casting spells, and this gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Sure, I'll just play Vivi.
I mean, Vivi is good, but this is a very
He
interesting
is
card.
great.
Look, I don't think I don't know. I don't want to play the comparison game because ultimately, like, whenever it comes to any kind of color combination here, I mean, like, especially as it Spellslinger, that's something that we've obviously seen before.
Mhm.
However, I do think that this is a really cool card and that you can make this really, really big, albeit only for like a temporary amount of time. But this takes spell slinging into the direction of like I can use this with a Voltron style commander just to make this like, really big to be able to smash damage. So I think it's cool. The toughness doesn't move, which might be a little difficult, but
Yeah, it's I mean, having X spells too. That's a really popular way of building this too. Just put a bunch of mana into this, draw a bunch of cards, keep going, keep going, keep going, and then this just gets bigger on its backside, and then you can swing in. So I kind of like it. It's pretty cool. You just don't like it, huh, Steven?
No, it's very middle of the road. I think this is a support piece. I don't think I want to run this as my commander.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the grades. We'll start with you, Steven.
I mean, is it doing is it things? I mean, I can't give this a D because even though it, doesn't really do much, which I know sounds crazy to say, because once you start casting 4 mana spells, unless you have like an infinite mana sink, like you're not doing much. So I'm just gonna put this at a C.
Go ahead, Riley.
yeah, I think he's kind of middle of the road for me. I'm gonna put this as a C.
I am in agreement with both of you. I think this is middle of the road too. It's going to be a C from me, which goes Shantotto, average grade, C. Next up is Sin, Spira's Punishment, 4 black, green, blue for a 7/7 legendary creature, Leviathan Avatar. It's got flying and says when it enters or attacks, exile a permanent card from your graveyard at random. Then create a tapped token that's a copy of that card. If the exiled card is a land card, repeat this process. Now, this was like the very first card they ever spoiled when Final Fantasy was first coming out. I remember this being very hyped. And then the hype died around this card because I don't know if this is good. Having stuff coming in randomly where you can't choose it, there's just better options to actually just play your stuff, right?
Normally, the random aspect would be a downside, but the fact that you could potentially hit a land and then just like chain this together multiple times, I feel like is kind of a positive in that regard.
I mean, yeah, if you hit a land, then you get the land as a copy, right? And then you do it again.
Yeah.
But it's still exiling it, so you can't do it again, right?
Well, what
Yeah,
if
but this is for like fetch lands and stuff like that,
Sure, I get that.
what if I have 13 lands in my graveyard?
You just fill your graveyard with lands. I have a Sin Spira's Punishment, land matters.
I mean, that's legit though, right? If I only have those lands in my graveyard, guess what? I'm dropping all of them into play.
Not wrong. Is 7 mana for a 7/7 flyer that does that good?
I mean, 7 mana for a 7/7 flyer, then in my hypothetical situation, just drop 13 lands into play, maybe.
Sure, sure. I guess the one upside for this, right? You have like a doubling season in this deck. You can get double tokens.
Yeah, so I mean, I was pretty high on this card when it was first spoiled because I see shenanigans afoot. But playing a bunch of spell table and just games in general at my LGS, I don't see this card whatsoever. I've never seen it played, so I don't know how it would really roll out. But I do think that the effect is pretty good. I understand your point, Hunter, on the randomness not being great, but Riley brings up an amazing point. If you hit a land, at least you're ramping, which is fantastic. So this with like fetches and things like that are really good. Plus, if you have any mill, like self mill, and you're in the great colors to do that, being Sultai, I mean, I can see it. I mean, it kind of makes the game a little fun in a weird way, being random. Like you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah. I mean, it still starts off at 7 mana, though. It's kind of a lot.
There's no way to get there with Sultai.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the grades. Riley, we'll kick it off with you.
I think that this card is cool. The 7 mana initial starting cost does scare me though. It's a neat card. It has the ability to like have a pretty decent ceiling, but I'm not thrilled on the floor, so I'm gonna say this is a C for me.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think this is, once again, middle of the road for me. It's a C.
Yeah, there's only one 7-mana card in my heart, and that's Ureni. So this is a C.
Sin Spira's Punishment gets the average grade of a C. Moving on to Squall, Seed Mercenary. 2 white, black, 3/4 legendary creature human knight mercenary. It's got Rough Divide, which means whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. And whenever Squall deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Kind of like a Sun Titan effect when it hits. You can give this double strike and it will do it twice. Is that good enough?
I mean, Voltron, you know?
Voltron, yeah, but how much stuff are you returning from the graveyard?
I mean, Voltron, yeah.
Good. Okay. I love it.
I don't know, man.
Explain more?
Yeah, it's so weird because like I don't really like cards that say whenever a creature has to attack alone. I it kind of like turns my mind off, and I don't want to do anything or think about it because in my mind I'm not playing this card. Like I mean, I have this card in my Sidar deck as a knight because double strike on Sidar is great. So in support peaceful like land, fantastic. But as this is the commander, I mean, aristocrat strategies maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orzhov, I mean, this is very doable for you to play around with aristocrats, or for you to just like tutor through your deck and directly dump things into your graveyard, those key pieces. Double strike makes him much more scary, just because, I don't know, from a blocking perspective, if somebody pumps this, all of a sudden you could lose a creature much more easily, or just potentially lose a lot more life. So, um, I don't know. I'm kind of here for this one. This is just kind of like, as odd as it sounds, like an Orzhov exalted style of a deck. So I could kind of see this one.
I'm actually not here for this one at all. I don't like the fact that you have to deal the combat damage. I wish it was an attack trigger, and that'd be cool. Granted, then the double strike wouldn't make any sense. But I just feel like this gets blocked by a 1/1, and you're gonna have to give it some sort of evasion. I get you could fill your graveyard and start getting value off that, but at the same time, you're also not attacking with anything else but this. So unless you're kind of just building that strategy of, hey, I'm just a spell slinger deck and this is my only attacking creature. I don't know if I'm here
You
for
could
it.
also go down the Voltron route, and instead of playing around with like what we had mentioned aristocrats, you could maybe do something like trying to mill over equipment pieces. That way you're just continuously buffing Squall, or like little enchantments or something.
Yeah, maybe. Let's move on to the grades. I really don't like this card. I'm giving it a D.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go that low. I think I'm gonna stick to a C. It still is pretty aggressive with the double strike, and then the recursion is pretty good too. So I do enjoy it at that point. So C for me.
I've talked myself up on this card, just like swinging it with a bunch of auras. It does have to connect at least once, I feel, for the game plan to turn on, but I'm going to give this a C.
Well, Squall Seed Mercenary gets the average grade of a C. Next up is Tellah, Great Sage. 3 blue, red for a 3/3 legendary creature human wizard. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token. And if 4 or more mana was spent to cast that spell, draw 2 cards. If 8 or mana was spent to cast that spell, sacrifice Tellah and it deals that much damage to each opponent. Interesting card. I do like the ability of not necessarily hitting that clause of 4 or even 8. I mean, probably never 8. But just whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you're just making a 1/1 just to play a bunch of small stuff. You're making your board so big so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is just 5 mana for an Izzet commander is pretty aggressive already. And then I think in my mind, I like the 1/1s because obviously you can put a bunch of those, cards that make the 1/1 tokens when you cast non-creature spells as well. Just build a huge board state and have a good payoff that way. I love the 4 mana one. Drawing 2 cards is sick. The
Yeah.
8 mana is just so aggressive in my mind because like once you cast it, this is sacrificed, and then now you're paying 7 mana for your commander. So it's an interesting build around.
Yeah, like I said, I'm probably not doing the 8 thing. I'm just sticking to that low. Like, that's enough for me.
Oh no, this is such a weirdo. Um, I like the token production. I like drawing cards. I can also see some times where that massive amount of damage could be relevant. I mean, like, you cast a Blasphemous Act with this, and you're hitting each of your opponents for 9,
Yeah, that's true.
in
And
addition to board wipe.
if you're playing any X spells, it depends on how much mana you spend into that. That'll
Yeah.
that could be a game finisher. I could see that.
But like the fact that you have to sacrifice him, he goes out with a bang. It's just like, I think that's kind of where the card loses me. It's like it's got so much upside until I eventually have to like reload.
It's true.
This kind of reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from D&D. And the quote goes, "I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast fireball."
It's pretty good.
Not everyone's going to understand that, but for those that do, I'm sure it'll hit nicely.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the grades, Steven. We'll start with you.
Man, it's tough. It does something which automatically does not make it an F, but it does something a little bit more. So I don't think it's a D, but I think a C is where I'm at.
Yeah, it's fair. I actually kind of like this card, and I think I could see myself building around it to make it pretty powerful. So I'm going to give it a B.
Wild.
I am gonna go with the C on this card. Maybe I'm just being too reserved with my grades, but we're gonna stick with the C here.
Tellah, Great Sage, gets the average grade of a C. Back into the double face cards, we've got Terra, Magical Adept. It's 1 red and a green for a 4/2 legendary creature, human wizard warrior. It says when Terra enters, mill 5 cards. Put up to 1 enchantment card milled this way into your hand. It also has Trance, which means for 4 red and green, you can tap it and exile Terra, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. Once transformed, it does turn into Esper Terra, which is a 6/6 legendary enchantment creature saga wizard with flying. Its first, second, and third lore counters are all the same that say create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary enchantment you control. It gains haste. If it's a saga, put up to 3 lore counters on it, sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. And the fourth and final lore counter says add 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, and 2 green. Exile Esper Terra, then return it to the battlefield front face up. Banger of a card, Steven.
Yeah, I love this card so much. And I think that anytime I see the CDH community start going goo goo gaga over a card, I tend to pay attention to it a little bit more. And this is just an all-star of a card.
I think the funniest thing that doesn't have anything to do with the abilities of the card is when this was first spoiled, they kind of joked and said, Esper Terra adds Esper to Gruul. Really dumb joke, but it is true.
It's a late hit for me on that joke, I won't lie to you.
It's pretty powerful, I will say. Coming down at 3 mana to start that engine, and then 6 to flip it into something that is pretty powerful is pretty nuts.
Yeah, I love this. Milling 5 cards. You're gonna bring something back, hopefully, and even if you don't, like, I mean, you can do stuff. I've seen so many videos about this and built very different ways. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. I don't even know if I. This is gonna sound crazy. I don't even know if I care about that 4th lore counter.
I mean, the 4th lore counter is pretty good because you just flip it immediately again. Well, actually, no, you can't because it's sick.
No, you exile it, yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot.
Help me out here because you two seem very high on this card.
Okay.
I obviously am missing something here.
Okay.
It's 3 mana for it, 4/2 with an ETB that I don't really care about, and that it does nothing until I have managed to invest an additional 6 and tap this.
Okay.
What am I missing here? This card just, like, at least the front half of this seems abysmally slow.
You are in 5 colors. You can make this faster.
I mean, I understand that you're in 5 colors, and that is definitely like a huge bonus for this card. However, my opponents are also playing Magic, and there is a very good chance that this will not flip.
I think that this is one of those commanders that you do not play on curve. This is one of those commanders that you play once you're ready and you've got your board state.
I mean, I can understand that still, but like even with that, the mana intensive secondary ability there, and the fact that you have to tap this. Like I said, maybe I'm missing something, but the front half of this card just seems so bad to me that like even with the bonuses that the back half give you, like it's cool ish.
That's why you play
I
it.
don't
You
I
you got
don't
you got to get to that back half. I think the back
well
half is great.
that's what I said. I didn't say great, I said cool ish.
I like
Like
the back half a lot.
I don't know. It's one of those exile to transform. So on the first go around with this card, it doesn't have haste. You're not attacking with it. So you could make a copy of a thing, assuming you have another thing.
Well, might
You
have
got to get rid
haste.
of that thing.
Might have haste, depending on what you have on the field already.
That's the thing though, is that like now you're adding in these additional stipulations, like extra hoops that I got to jump through. Well, it's in 5 colors, so of course I can get this thing potentially out even earlier. I'm going to be able to speed my way up to it. All of my opponents can do that too. I might have haste enablers and all these other things because like I've got other setup cards. At a certain point, I just look at it like how much is this card working and how much is the deck working to make this card good.
I think that's the point of all commanders, is to build around it.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I feel like a commander that benefits from the 99 doesn't rely on the 99 is more what I gravitate towards. And I definitely feel like this one is much more dependent.
Well, sure. I mean, this is a enchantment matters commander. It's that I think Steven has fallen in love with a similar kind of deck with Go Shintai as a enchantment matters commander. So, Steven, you are in love with this.
I am, and I I think I don't think anything we say is going to change Riley's mind. I think the way Riley plays is destruction of everything on every opponent's board. So it's kind of difficult to kind of change the mind on that, because like in Riley's mind, this comes down. It's just you kill it and you don't have to worry about it, and then it just costs more mana. In my mind, this is 5-color good stuff. And anytime there's a 5-color commander, and especially when it comes to enchantments, because I love enchantments, especially with all the summons that just came out, you're able to do a lot of things and help flip certain things. And I mean, there's nothing I can say that'll change Riley's mind. I know I love it, and I know that it can be very fun. I love enchantments in general, and this is just this is my play style. And even if this was just red and green, I still think I would play it, because there's enough green and red enchantments to do certain things, and it's really fun.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the grades. We will start with Riley, because Riley seems the lowest. What are we giving Terra, Riley?
Yeah, somebody help me in the comments. Tell me what I'm missing about this card, because I feel like I have to be missing something. I'm gonna give this a D. I don't like this at all.
Let's see the opposite spectrum for Steven.
I'm going to give this an A.
And I will give this a B, because I can see both points. The average grade for Terra Magical Adept is a B. Moving on, we've got the Emperor of Palamecia. It is blue and a red for a 2/2 legendary creature human noble wizard. You can tap it to add a blue or a red, spend this mana only to cast a non-creature spell, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, you put a +1/+1 counter on the Emperor of Palamecia. Then if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, transform it. Once transformed, it turns into the Lord Master of Hell. It is 3/3 legendary creature demon noble wizard. It's got Starfall. That means whenever it attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard. This kind of screams Riley for some reason, just because the Lord Master of Hell sounds cool.
Dude, it really does. It sounds so cool. I also like hurting my opponents. So the back half of this card is 100% up my alley as well. However, I'm not sure if I love this card. Positives, the front half, it's very cheap. I love flow to the ground commander, so command at only 2 mana. That's cool. It functions as a mana dork for your non-creature spells. Also cool. Is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for me to make this thing actually flip.
Yeah, having 4 mana, having to spend to cast it, making it flip is hard. However, if you can get at least 1 counter on it and then proliferate it into enough counters and then cast another spell for 4 mana, you can flip it that way.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, we are in Is It there's not a ton of ways for me to put +1/+1 counters on my creatures in this
It's true.
outside of me actually casting a 4-mana spell.
I also feel like once it dies, then you're stuck back at square one. You have to cast 4 mana spells again to get this going. It is quite slow.
So I'll agree and I'll disagree.
Okay.
Just listen, I love Izzet, and the fact that this is a 2-mana commander that is basically also a mana dork that helps you do the thing is really fun. My mind works in one way. I spoke about Riley's mind working in the way of making sure people can't play the game. My mind works in the way of I like to combo off and win that way. I want to get to game 2. It's just that simple. Let's just get to game 2. But I think the 4 mana, although it is very restrictive, cards like Big Score or Unexpected Windfall are really good in this. I think, being in blue and red, you have cards that can basically give your entire graveyard flashback. Now, granted, I do understand that route will hurt the backside of Master of Hell because when you flash back a card, you are exiling it. But it is still a pretty easy possibility, I think. Plus, in Izzet, you can make a ton of treasures. Bergie's a thing. I mean, Stormkiln Artist is a thing. This is like, is it Spellslinger? So it kind of rewards you. It's weird, right? Because it rewards you for casting those small spells that aren't 4 mana to fill your graveyard to be doing that damage, and then kind of makes you want to start casting those bigger spells once the game progresses a little bit more. So this is like I guess this is like the true on curve commander. You want to start casting spells more and more and more, because this does come down pretty early. So, I mean, I do enjoy this card, but I do see the difficulty in doing it. Plus, it's David Bowie.
It looks like David Bowie, but I will say I completely agree with you. I understand what you're saying. And the fact that this does not exile itself and then return, so you can swing in right away once you get that clause, is once again a great thing to have. But I will stick with my original statement saying once this dies, you got to build it back up, and that is hard to do.
Yeah.
I will agree. I think the only thing that doesn't really make me angry at the thing about building it back up is we're filling our deck with spells. That and the backside only cares about the cards being in your graveyard. So unless there's like a Bajuka Bog or mass exile of your graveyard, I understand it kind of sucks, but it's fine. I think you'll get there.
This is so crazy to me. I'm over here in this mindset of like, people play interaction, play removal. Yes, graveyards are a thing. Target those, shut them down, kill their commanders.
I feel like you're the only person I've ever met that no matter what, and I think it's true for almost every precon that we've ever built, I think you always throw graveyard removal in every single one of your precons.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Bajuka Bog and Scavenging Ground every single deck.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the grades. We will start with Steven. Steven, you seem the highest on this one.
I mean, I'm probably the highest. I'm gonna put this at a B. I think it's still pretty solid. I think Izzet, Spellslinger, this set came out with so much fuel for Izzet, it's not even funny.
I'm gonna give it middle of the road. This is a C for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C.
The average grade for the Emperor of Palamecia is a C. Next up is the Wandering Minstrel. It is just a green and a blue for a 1/3 legendary creature human bard. It says lands you control enter untapped. And the Minstrel's Ballad, which means at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 5 or more towns, you create a 2/2 elemental creature token that's all colors. And it also has another little ability that is 3 white, blue, black, red, green. Other creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of towns you control. Now, Steven, we will start with you because you've actually played against this a couple times. How do you feel about the Wandering Minstrel?
Yeah, it's so funny because like when this card was released, I was happy because I love 5-color commanders. It's my favorite kind of card to build. I have, I think, 5-color commander decks. But at the same time, I was like, I mean, it's 2 mana, it's a 1/3. Yeah, it does something. I think the best thing about this card that I saw was lands you control enter untapped, and I kind of like brushed it off. But after playing against it multiple times on Spell Table, this card is insane. It's nuts, man. Like, because most of the cards that we always throw out of every single precon when we upgrade them are tap lands. This says, hey, you want to go search for lands, and the card says they enter tapped. Go do it. Have fun. And they come in untapped. So it makes your cards that are ramping you so much better. That, and I've seen some lines where like the elementals actually matter. Like Risen Reef in this deck goes insane. it just like I love this card with all my heart. I honestly can just continue to talk about it for a long time.
Yeah, I believe that is like the cheapest kind of mana cost we've seen for the effect of lands coming untapped ever.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nuts. But yeah, there are different ways like Omo and stuff to make all of your lands more towns, and that's a pretty cool way to build this deck. Yeah, and the town thing is nothing to scoff at either because Riley, I think you told me there were 23 towns. Is that right?
There are 23. Plus, if you want to count other cards too, like you have the Everything Lands. There's, I don't know, a couple cards that have the ability to do that, or like even something just like a Thespian Stage. Help me out here. There's another card that enters as a copy.
The Supa?
So, yes, thank you. So there's ways that you can actually make that number increase past that point. And like what you guys had mentioned too, I mean, this makes your bad lands good. Not the card Badlands. That card's good to begin with. But you're like ETB tapped. Like I'm gonna have like playing this in like temples. I love this because now all of a sudden I just get a land that scries for me and I can use it right away.
Yeah.
Because like
So
here's the thing. Riley, you bring up a really good point, right? Because you brought up Badlands, you brought up temples, but every single card that is bad that comes in tapped is so cheap. What's the most expensive thing to upgrade in a deck?
The lands.
it's the lands.
This fixes it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. I think we're all on a board for this one. Let's let's go to the grades for this one, huh? We'll start with Riley.
I don't like where that Psy went.
I actually really do like this card a lot. I think that my biggest critique is that one of my favorite pet decks is Omo, and this can't fit in that deck. I'm gonna give this a B.
That's the critique.
That's my
Omo can't
critique.
take this card. I think I'm gonna give this one an A. I like this one.
Yeah, you could put Omo in this, and for that reason, I'm giving it an A.
The Wandering Minstrel gets the average grade of an A. Next up, Tidus, Blitzball Star. 1 white, blue. 2/1 legendary creature, human warrior. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put +1/+1 counter on Tidus, and whenever Tidus attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. Easy and to the point. This can get out of hand very quickly because there is not a restriction on that +1/+1 counters. So however many treasures you're making, boom, this gets big.
Riley, I'll let you take it off.
I mean, look, I like the treasure comparison. My brain immediately just goes to Cheerios. There's more degenerate things that you can do with Cheerios than just have a million commander.
Yeah, just keep flickering and bouncing and just play them again and again and again. Yeah, doesn't even care about casting. It doesn't care about casting, but it cares about entering. So hopefully it doesn't get countered. But whenever this attacks, also just tap down at a creature. Sorry about your blocker.
That's true. I'm here for this, man. I won't lie to you. 2-1 to start, pretty rough. Let's be honest. Those are very bad stats. Obviously, this is growing, right? But you're in Azorius, so Azorius control artifacts. I think I wouldn't even say Voltron, but like really good pieces to make this like unblockable. I think Genji's glove in this deck is insane. Like just the double strike aspect is fantastic. I really do like Tidus.
I don't know if we could say anything else about this card because it's so simple and to the point. Like Riley, you like to talk about cards being a very introductory commander. I think this one pretty much self-explanatory there.
Okay, yes, you can play this as an introductory commander. However, I feel like this one is one of the ones where it's like, if you are playing this and I'm casting an artifact and getting a +1/+1 counter on this and playing fair magic, I'm not super high on this card.
No, but I'm just saying you can play this as an introductory commander. I know you like to break things, and you can break this, what we just mentioned. It's just also just the 2 lines of text are very easy for a new player to understand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I do like that. I don't really have much of a downside on this card aside from just like it dies to removal, but everything on this list does. So
well, let's start with you. Let's go to the grades. What are you giving it?
because of how, and I feel linear this thing is going to be, I feel like it really telegraphs what your deck is going to do. I'm going to give this a C.
It's fair. Steven, do you have a grade?
I'm gonna give this a B because of how linear and straightforward it is. Even though your deck probably will say, "Hey, I'm doing this," I still think for the aspect that you brought up, Hunter, for a new person coming to Magic, when I do this, it does this, and when I do this, it does this, and that's the only four things I really need to remember. I think I'll put this at a B.
I'm going to agree with you, Steven. I'm going to give this a B as well. So Tidus, Blitzball Star, gets the average grade of a B. Next up is Ultimecia Time Sorceress. It's 3 blue and a black for a 4/5 legendary creature human warlock. It says whenever it enters or attacks, you surveil 2. It also has another ability. It says at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 4, 2 blue, 2 black, total of 8 mana, and exile 8 cards from your graveyard. If you do transform Ultimecia, once transformed, it turns into Ultimecia Omnipotent. It is a 7/7 legendary nightmare warlock. It's got menace, and it's got time compression. It says when this creature transforms into Ultimecia Omnipotent, take an extra turn after this one. It's a powerful effect, but it is just that one time.
Why doesn't this card have flying?
It's got menace.
It's
I'm really stuck on
so
that.
expensive.
It is so expensive. It is 5 mana to drop and an additional 8 mana to flip with an additional 8 cards you have to exile out. So if this does die, cool. You get an extra turn. But you got to do it again.
I mean, so here's the thing, right? You get an extra turn, and then you just have a 7/7.
Yep, with menace.
But you do have a
I mean-
7/7 with menace. Like you're getting in for damage.
Yeah, because you get that extra turn. So, summoning
Also,
sickness.
are
Actually,
we gonna
no
even-
summoning sickness. It doesn't switch the zones.
Yeah. If it just transforms, so this one is one that can attack right away. However, let's be real. This is a timed trigger. You can only do this during your end step, and you have to invest 8 mana into it. You're not getting an extra turn
Yeah.
because your first turn was burned on flipping this card.
Yeah, people will see the backside of this and go, well, that's never going to flip.
I think people are going to look at the front side of this and be like, "Oh, that's never going to flip."
Exactly.
So 5 mana for a 4/5 that ETP or attack and surveils 2. And the rest of this card for me is kind of non-existent.
This is fill your graveyard, fill your graveyard, fill your graveyard, and then maybe pay 8. Maybe get rid of those 8 cards you filled your graveyard with. Maybe get an extra turn, which
just,
probably
like-
won't happen.
Why wouldn't I just play extra turn spells? Like, I don't have to exile cards from my graveyard. I just have to cast them, and pretty much almost all of them are cheaper than 8 mana.
Because you get a 7/7 with menace. Duh. Let's move on to the grades. I'm giving this a D.
I'll give it a
This is
D.
It's such a trap. I'll give it a D.
Ultimecia Time Sorceress gets the average grade of a D. Next up is Vanille Cheerful Elsie. It is 3 and a green for a 3/2 legendary creature, Human Cleric. It says when Vanille enters, mill 2 cards, then return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. And at the beginning of your first main phase, if you both own and control Vanille and a creature named Fang Fearless Elsie, you may pay 3 black and green. If you do, exile them and then meld them into Ragnarok, Divine Deliverance. I'm not even going to talk about the backside because it's not a partner pairing. So you have to find Fang, which it can go in this deck because Fang is mono black, but Vanille couldn't go in Fang when we talked about the mono black legends. This card is not good.
Why does this not have partner?
It doesn't have partner.
Yeah, but like, I feel like that is such a swing and a miss. Like, if this card had partner, I think that this would be super cool. Ragnarok is an awesome flip. Like, it gives you a huge payoff. I can't.
Doesn't have partner. It's a bad card. Steven?
I don't want to talk about it.
I think we just move on to the grades. I'm giving this one. This is the first one of the video. This is an F.
This makes me so sad. I'm gonna give this an F.
Yeah, anytime there's a card that says I can put it in the 99, I got to find it to do the thing. Like, it's an F. Like, this is so bad.
Vanille Cheerful Elsie gets the average grade of an F. Next up, Vivi Ornitier. It's 1 blue and a red for a 0/3 legendary creature wizard. It has an ability you can just pay nothing, pay 0. Add X mana in any combination of blue and or red, where X is a VV's power. Activate only during your turn and only once each turn. It also says, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on Vivi, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. This card is so pushed.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah. What do you mean? Like, I don't understand why people are so happy on this card that says activate only during your turn and only once each turn. Like,
Yeah.
that's awful.
Yeah,
There's no way this card can be good.
I like your sarcasm.
Do we think that, like, whenever they printed this was a misprint? Like, instead of it being 0, it should have been like a tap symbol or something?
No, because why would you do that when you can just pay 0? You know?
I mean, I get it, but
Yeah, so call me crazy, but I think the same person that like was around to make Nadu made this.
They said Nadu was too powerful. Let's try to make something powerful. Yeah, this card's
Let's
still.
see if I can slip another one through.
I think this card's still hovering over $40 because it is seeing play in standard, because of course it is. Just an absolute powerhouse of just churning through your deck and casting non-creature spells, pinging your opponent over and over and over, and then activating the 0 cost. Oh, I just got a bunch more mana. Let's just keep going. It's
Yeah, I think I was playing
nuts.
Spell Table. I was playing like a bracket 2 lobby, and somebody had Vivi, and I was like, get out.
Get out. Yeah, because this card, I honestly, like, I feel like this could be a game changer just because it just snowballs just to an extreme. Like, it is, I can't talk about it any higher. This is nuts.
I just don't like decks like this. This is one of those is it decks where it's just like, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna play Magic, and this person's gonna take 20 minutes, and you're not gonna go, and then the game's gonna end.
Yeah, you lose.
Yeah, but at least it was only 20 minutes.
Someone comes up to the table, plays Vivi, you lose. Let's move on to the grades. I think we're all on board. This is an A because it is that powerful.
Yeah, I'll give this an A.
Vivi.
I don't even need to voice it. That's my grade.
Yep, Vivi. Average grade. A. Next up is Xande, Dark Mage. 2 blue, black, 3/3 legendary creature, human wizard. It's got menace. Gets +1/+1 for each non-creature, non-land card in your graveyard.
What's the next card say?
This one is obviously a reminder text on menace, which means it's from the starter deck. Is this card good as a potential commander? I do not think so. It is meant to be low powered for a reason. You disagree?
I mean, I'm inclined to agree.
Disagree, Riley.
All right. I am looking at this of Dimir, which happens to be the best color combination whenever it comes to mill. Is that correct, Steven?
It is pretty damn correct, yes.
All right. So I'm going to mill myself for exuberant numbers, and then I have a gigantic menace commander.
Okay. Is that all you want in your command zone?
I mean, yeah, this is Voltron. This is self-mill Voltron.
Self-mill Voltron. Here we are again. That's fine. You can play that strategy. I'm not.
You want to know my issue with this, Riley?
But yeah.
I think this is great self-mill Voltron, but I know me, if I play this and I build it as self-mill Voltron, I'm going to mill my Lightning Greaves and my Swiftfoot Boots and my unblockable things. That's just me, because I'm that unlucky when I do that.
Let's be real, Steven. You play up against me very, very often. You're going to play this, I'm going to Scavenging Grounds you, and then I'll just kill this.
Yeah, I won't even, that's the thing. This will be on the field, and then I'll pass my turn, and then I'll just hear those famous last words of every single one of my commanders in response to your end step.
Let's go to the grades. I'll kick us off. This is a C. It's average.
No, this is a D.
Oh.
I'm going to give this a C. I like that this is a starter card.
Xande Dark Mage gets the average grade of a C. Moving on to Yuna, Hope of Spira. 3 green and a white for a 3/5 legendary creature human cleric. It says during your turn, Yuna and enchantment creatures you control have trample, lifelink, and ward 2. It says at the beginning of your end step, return up to one target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It's a powerful effect. It's quite a powerful effect. What do you think, Riley?
It has built-in recursion, and then it also pumps said pieces that it just brought back into play. I like this.
Yeah, it's especially with the new summon creatures, they die, you bring it back. Now they have trample, lifelink, and ward 2, just as an extra little bonus. I mean,
yeah.
Knights of the Round, Steven?
Knights of the Round, Summon Bahamut. I don't know. That's just a couple.
Just a couple that fit into the deck.
Yeah, this is an insane card. I love it. Again, enchantments are like my jam. I don't know why. I think they're my favorite type of magic card in the world. But like Riley said, giving trample, lifelink, and ward 2 to all your things on your turn, solid. Because this triggers on end step, and it's still your turn on end step. So
yeah. I have a question for you, Riley, since you play Final Fantasy. Did you ever play this one, number 10?
I did play 10. I'm not gonna lie, this was a middle school experience. I'm gonna say it may be middle school.
I was gonna say, what is that she's petting?
I don't remember much from this game. I'm sorry. I know Final Fantasy X is like super beloved. I remember like the 3 characters, and she's one of them. And I don't have a very good memory for these things. I'm sorry.
Well, let's go to the grades, and we'll start with you, Riley.
Because of the fact that she returns those things directly back to the battlefield, I'm gonna give her a B. I think she's very powerful.
Steven.
I'm going to go up to an A. I love this card a lot. 5 mana is a bit aggressive. Don't get me wrong. But great colors for protection. So even if it's not your turn, they don't have the ward 2. You can still have ways to save your pieces. The finality counter kind of sucks, but just like Riley said, bringing stuff back on your end step directly to the battlefield. Most of the time, everything has an ETB. You're going to have a great time.
Yeah, Riley, I'm going to agree with you. I think Yuna is a great card. I just don't, for me personally, not in the A territory, so I'm going to give it a B. So, Yuna, Hope of Spira gets the average grade of a B. Moving on to the final card of the entire legendary commander grades. It is Zidane, Tantalus Thief. It's 3, a red and a white, for a 3/3 legendary creature, human mutant scout. It says when it enters, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it, it gains lifelink and haste until end of turn. And whenever an opponent gains control of a permanent from you, you create a treasure token. It's cool.
God, this card's so good.
I wish it said entered or attacks you gain control. That would be
Who cares?
Sweet. Gotta blink this a couple times to get that ETB trigger, but give them
not even blink.
Give them stuff. You get treasure. It's cool.
This is my harmless offering deck.
Harmless offering. Okay.
Yeah. This is my I am playing cards to give to my opponents. Like just goofing around. I think this honestly is a lot of fun, and I am making treasure tokens as I continue to go through it.
It's fair.
I don't even want to build it that way, I'll be honest. I mean, the way I see this, like I've played against Riley enough to where I've seen every red card that says steal all your opponent's creatures and swing with them to know that like incursion is a really good card. But this is fantastic.
You mean insurrection?
Insurrection, sorry. I knew it started with an N. But yeah, so insurrection. Yeah, but like damage doublers, damage triplers, blink effects, you're making treasures, harmless offering is a really good aspect here too. Like this is a really great card. Plus, like most of the time you never get rewarded when you have to give the creature back to your opponent. It's just tapped and they untap it on their next, untap step. This gives you a treasure. So you kind of like it makes those cards that would steal your opponent's things cheaper. So it's really, this is so fun.
Yeah, this is cool. This is a gain control deck that just, like you said, Steven, it just rewards you for gaining control of people's things when you have to give it back. And I'm here for that. That's kind of cool. But let's go ahead and move on to the grades. We'll start with you, Steven.
Oh, you guys are gonna hate me. I'm gonna give this an A. I know that sounds nuts, but I'm ending this video with a bang. I love this card so much.
I'm going to go down to a C. I do think it's
You are wild.
Riley.
I love this card just because it's shenanigans. I'm gonna go to a C.
I hate you both.
Zidane Tantalus Thief gets the average grade of a B. And that is it. That's all of the legends from Final Fantasy. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit the like button. And once again, subscribe to stay up to date with the future content because we are now bowed up. Put a nice little bow on top. That is Final Fantasy. We're done. Hope you guys enjoyed that ride. If you guys were along for the entire Commander grades, comment down below. I'm curious. Did you guys watch all of the videos? And if you haven't, check the links in the description. All videos right there. Click on those. Watch the grades for all of them. While you're in the description, check out our social media accounts if you want to follow us on those. And comment down below because maybe we were wrong about a card. Riley mentioned earlier, hey, let them know what you see in Terra that they don't. It's a pretty good card. But also, interested to hear your guys' opinions. And on the screen right now, those are all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your added support. It really does mean the world to us. If you guys wanted to see what they're seeing, which includes early access to content, exclusive content, and a bunch of other cool stuff, check the link in the description as well. Consider subscribing. And a very special shout out to our Gains Indestructible tier, starting with Aaron Hill,
Aaron Martin,
Brian Gagniella,
Daryl Tripp,
Demarion Turner,
Dr. Rome,
Yasminder Pabla,
Jimmy Ward,
Jay Pizzle,
Kevo,
Larry Killian,
Samuel Abbott,
Thrifty PSGR.
and William Colombo.
You guys are awesome. Appreciate every single one of you. And until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Laters.
You think we'll ever have to do 160 again?